Welcome back to the Red Dice Diaries, and in this video I'm going to talk about one of the potential enemies to the continuance of a campaign, and that is the dead time or downtime between sessions. Okay, so you've finished running your session, it went well, you've got your feedback off the players. Surely that's your job done as a GM until you start planning the next session, isn't it? I'm afraid not. The time between sessions can be an absolute killer for campaign enthusiasm. If you think I'm joking, well, think of it like this. Everyone has work, family life and various other crises, all clamouring for their attention, and normally RPGs give us a few blissful hours of escapism. Once you've finished a session though, all of those everyday cares and worries come flooding back in, and it's easy for them to wash the enthusiasm for a game away, especially if you have a long time between sessions. And I've seen no end of games, I've even run some myself, that have stalled, puttered out and eventually died with a whimper because they didn't have the impetus to sustain them in the lean times between games. So what can you as a GM do to prevent this? How can you stop the time between sessions eating away at the memory of your game and causing it to fade into the background of your players' memories? Well, one of the best ways I found is using that time to remind the players of all the good stuff that's going on in your game. After all, you've put all that work into designing and creating an entertaining game. Why not use the between session time to highlight other elements of the setting? Here are some of my top tips for keeping your game fresh in the minds of your players during that downtime. Number one, create a Facebook group or something similar for your game. This allows you to keep in touch with your players, helps to arrange games, and allows you to regularly post updates to keep the game fresh in the players' minds. Number two, regularly look for images or even write some fiction if you're that way inclined that emphasizes parts of your game. After all, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, and just having the occasional Facebook post or email containing pictures that represent parts of your setting or maybe NPCs can help stimulate the players and get them looking forward to your next session. Number three, try and keep the schedule of your games regular. Now I know this isn't always possible, but if the players know when a session is going to take place, they can look forward to and anticipate it. Whereas if the game's a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more occasional, then it's easy to forget about it or for it to fade into the background of memory. The event planning features of social media are very useful for this type of thing. And number four, create a campaign newsletter. Whether you send it out via email, post it on Facebook, or even if you print it out and post it using the normal postal system, a newsletter with a few stories about what is going on in the campaign, especially if it refers to previous actions and adventures taken by the player party, can really help spur enthusiasm. It helps the players feel like their efforts are getting noticed, and it's also something yourself and your players can look back at and use to plan future sessions. And finally, number five, ask your players questions and maintain regular correspondence. Ask your players what they want to do in the next session, what they think is going on in the main plot, and keep in touch as much as possible. After all, they're only going to forget the game if you let them do it. So there we go, that's a short video with a few suggestions as to how you can keep the memory of your game alive and keep people's enthusiasm going during that downtime between sessions. I hope you enjoyed this video. You consider clicking on the red dice up there and subscribing to my channel. If you liked it, hit it with a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit it with a thumbs down. And if you've got any comments, either put them in the box below, or as always, hit me up in the Google Plus links. I really do enjoy reading what you write. So until I see you in the next video, take care and happy gaming however you choose to game. And remember, keep the memory of that game alive even during the downtime. Take care.